Hello everybody, this is Yoko's Anime Reactions, and this is going to be my review for The Eminence and Shadow Episode 2. I had already gotten this recorded a couple days ago, I think, and I never got around to uploading it because I had then gotten the Eminence and Shadow light novel, and I did my first reading for it. And if you guys listened to the whole dang thing, you would have heard me laughing so freaking much while reading it, because it was just so freaking ridiculous. And I'm not even joking. This guy is delusional. Very, very delusional. To the point where he was trying to get magic in the modern world. And as we all know, if it exists, we don't know of a way to get it yet. If it exists. Which would be amazing if it did, but at the same time, there are obviously people out there who would use it for bad, and then we'd have an all-out bigger problem to deal with. And, yeah, episode 2, he ended up getting reincarnated. And, we actually get the backstory on essentially why he was wanting to be a hero, like a superhero. And as he got older, this did not go away. As he got older, it just grew, and he got to the point where he realized that even if he somehow became the strongest or anything, even if he was able to somehow be the best of the best, you know, the strongest of the strong and everything, he would still get his behind kicked if somebody was to fire a nuke at him. And that's why he went looking for magic, because, well, magic would probably be the only thing that he might have a chance at defending against a nuke. So, this is how the whole Truck-kun thing happened, where he got killed and reincarnated into that fantasy world. And I don't remember what his first name is in that world, because I don't think it was mentioned in the light novel, but I think his last name is the freaking same name that he had in the other world. Is this, I swear to God, if this story ends up ending where he wakes up and he was in a coma the entire dang time and none of that happened, I will be pissed. And yet it will make complete and utter sense with this whole story because of how delusional he is. It makes complete sense if that was the case. I'm hoping that's not the case, but it's in the realm of possibility here, like I said. But I will laugh, but I will be pissed at the same time if that's actually how the actual story ends. Or rather, how, you know, the light novel series finishes, is what I mean. I don't know if it actually is finished, but eventually we'll find out. Anyway, he gets reincarnated as a baby to a noble family, and he has an older sister who apparently is supposed to be 2 years older than him, but she looks a lot older than 2. At least 3. I thought maybe 4 when I first saw her. And apparently he's got magic, and yeah, he's now essentially trying to pass himself off as a background character because, yeah, he wants to be the Eminence in Shadows. Essentially like a shadow broker, like an information broker. Someone who works in the shadows, getting information and taking things down from behind the scenes, essentially. Hang on. I'm turning off this heater. I'm getting hot. Anyway, that's what essentially he wants to be. Someone who works in the shadows and essentially takes down the bad guys. Or, if he needs to, the main character or a final boss. And this essentially is his thinking. He thinks essentially this is like a video game, essentially. Where, he's talking about the final boss and the main character, hoping to run into them in the main capital once he turns 15 and starts going to the school. And, yeah, by the age of, I think, 10, he ends up going after bandits and taking great pleasure in testing out his weapons and, skills and defenses and everything against them, and easily takes them down no matter what. And I was thinking, this guy's not only delusional, but I would say, dang it, what is it, a psychopath? Is this guy a psychopath? Because he seems to be taking great pleasure in killing people, even if they are, bad guys, but still. And when he kills everybody, he ends up, going after the loot and everything, and he ends up seeing a cage and thinking maybe there's a slave in there, but he doesn't really have any use for anything that doesn't earn him money. But what he finds in there, at first I didn't know what the heck it was, but after reading the light novel, I know what it is, obviously. And obviously seeing it later, that blob, that rotting, decaying, somehow alive blob, is the result of magical overload. Where, essentially, I guess you get too much magic in you, or you accumulate too much magical energy, and it kind of overwhelms your body and turns you into that. And, yeah, he takes it back with him, and somehow experiments on it without anyone in the building, staff, or his family figuring out what's going on. How does nobody notice that? How does nobody notice that freaking glow, a purple magic glow coming out of that dang shed? How does nobody notice that? Anyway, he manages to finally reverse it, and it turns out it is an elven woman, and he ends up, once she regains consciousness and sees him, he kind of starts talking out of his ass, and telling her that she essentially is a descendant of the heroes from way back when, and they were experimenting on those descendants to turn them into those things. And by they, I mean the cult of Diablos. And apparently that is a real thing in this world. He just is winging it, and she somehow believes it because he saved her. So, he ends up getting her to join his little group called the Shadow Garden, and he is known as Shadow to her. And, she ends up gaining a bunch of followers, though, we don't get to see them, or how she finds them, or who they are, or anything about them in the anime. I don't think I've gotten to the point in the book where they've gotten to this. I think I've gotten to the point where he had found the blob and he was starting to experiment on it, if I remember correctly. But I don't think I had gotten to this point in the light novel, because surely the light novel would have told us more about these people that Alpha had found and recruited into the Shadow Garden. I don't know. Anyway, his sister has been training him, and she keeps on saying that he is very bad in what he does, and he's only doing it because he wants to stay in the shadows, so to speak. He wants to stay in the background, not draw attention to himself, because, like I said, he's trying to become a shadow broker, and those people stay in the shadows. They aren't noticed, except by any enemies that they make, and at that point it's too late. And he can't do that if he's in the spotlight, essentially. So he's playing down his abilities, because I can guarantee that if he was not holding back, he could easily kill everybody, not only in that town, but probably in the royal capital as well. And I'm not even joking on that. He probably could, if he wanted to. But he's not going to, because that is not what his goal is. And his sister ends up getting captured by some bandits, or nobles working with bandits or something. And they are actually in the cult of Diablos, and I'm like, that actually exists? Huh. Because I thought that was something that he was pulling out of his ass and making up. No, it's just a big coincidence that it actually does exist in this world, and they're actually, those people are, a part of this. And we actually find out when the noble is talking to her after he kidnapped her about how he was, I think, gonna experiment on her brother or something. Because she was talking about how, even though her brother has never beat her in a sparring match, she still learns something every day from him. And we actually learned in this episode that, despite how she treats him, she really is very, very, very protective of him. Because she lashes out to the point where she is able to get her hands free of those shackles there. I guess are supposed to be draining her, or keeping her still or something, damaging herself in the process, but it attacks him because of that. So we see that she does really care about him, even though she doesn't always outwardly show it. And Alpha and the others end up invading the place and taking down all his men. And apparently there's items in this world that can, enhance your physical abilities or something. Because he takes some kind of pill, I'm guessing, and even though he does this, Alpha is still able to take him down, but he escapes and ends up running into Shadow. And he easily takes this guy down, and we find out that apparently he was doing this because I'm guessing that his daughter, either his daughter or his wife, I am not 100% sure, ended up in the same position as as Alpha had been in, where she ended up getting a magical overload and, died because of it. So I'm guessing he was trying to figure out what causes it and how to possibly reverse it. But did he kill him? I can't remember if he did. I think he did kill the guy, and they got her sister out, or her sister managed to make her way back out, and she went to school as she was supposed to, because she was supposed to go on the day she got kidnapped. But obviously she didn't. And we also find out that his mother is the one that is the scary one in the family, because she started getting mad, and his father immediately cowered in front of her, essentially. She's the one who wears the pants in the family, I guess you could say, when it comes to who you want to mess with. Or who you don't want to mess with, I should say. Anyway, a lot of stuff happened in this episode. If you guys are interested in more, let me know, and I'll work on some more either tonight or after I get off work tomorrow. I'll see you guys next time.